you're watching this video because the blood is running deep in the streets and the bread lines are starting to form around the corner. These were my predictions 4 months ago in a video called I Sold My Bitcoin, which I sold my Bitcoin at the time because I was fearful of this exact scenario playing out where the markets were crashing, everything was red, Bitcoin is just tumbling in this free fall. Now, I made more conservative predictions then, but I told myself I would reassess when it hit about 29K, and you could watch the video for yourself, but this is where I was at, and it hit fast. Now we're sitting at a 21K Bitcoin, right? We're sitting at a 21K, 21.5K Bitcoin. This is the crazy markets. The fear and greed index is at an 8 right now, a terrible time for crypto, and you are looking for perspective. I'm looking for, we're all kind of just gathered around. We're like, okay, how do we make sense of this? Well, I am fearful of this market, extreme fear. But in my extreme fear, I'm looking to grab control of my emotions, to find that inner stalwart, strength, that inner Spartan reserve out there, that if I could just kind of muster that up and share that with you and share that energy with you. Because in this video, I'm going to announce the types of signs that I'm looking for, the predictions that I see coming, how to get a bull run back, and my moves looking for in the future. These are the 4 things that I'm going to go over in this video today. If you agree with this, if I'm making sense, leave a comment, get a like, subscribe, the whole thing. I'd really appreciate that. I want to see the comments on this video. I want to reply to them and really internalize them. I learned a lot from the comments, especially in that last video. I was learning a lot from those comments. A lot more people were agreeing with me than not agreeing with me. So here were are my predictions, and let's start with the signs here. One thing that I'm looking for, that actually you got to understand for me, that when we are trading in a crypto market, we are trading within the context of a macroeconomic event. And that economic event is the war, is the recession, is the inflation, is the supply chains. It is all of that. It's all of that, okay? Is United States immigration, is these countries folding over. There's a macro economic environment that we have to take ourselves into when we are investing in crypto. We have to take into all of that because Bitcoin is following the greater markets, the stock markets and all that stuff, because and those are all affected by it. So here are the signs that I'm looking for, and my prediction is a bigger drop. We have just started to see the knife start to fall, and you never want to catch a falling knife. You want to just hit that floor, hit that bottom, and before you pick it up again. But here are the signs that I want to see, that I'm looking for them, not really want to see, but I'm looking for them. Number 1, I'm looking for layoffs, okay? If you start to look towards the news, you see that a wave of layoffs is sweeping the U.S. Here are some firms that announced cuts so far, from Carvana to Netflix. I looked for some other ones. There's a whole bunch of them. The Tesla's announcing layoffs. Netflix, Meta's a freeze, a hiring freeze. Coinbase, there's a whole bunch of these. Carvana, I know Robinhood, I know Uber is a hiring freeze. So there is a whole bunch of layoffs that's coming in. Okay, when these layoffs are coming in and these hiring freezes come in, people will have less money to buy things, obviously, but I think they will be forced to sell their Bitcoin. That's what I think is going to happen. I think they will be forced to sell these extra assets to cover costs, to do whatever it takes. People have to get creative, and they have to start selling these assets off at discounted prices. That's what I think is going to happen. When that happens, I believe you're going to start to see liquidations in the market. People who have put out borrowed against their assets or whatever. You start to see liquidations in the crypto market. These big red sticks, big sell-offs, and this isn't one after the other. This is like an intermingling, a mixture, a woven little tapestry of death and blood and breadcrumbs. Okay, that's I hate to put it like this, right? I don't want to be that funder, but I will give you hope in the end. Okay, I promise you. At least I hope to. But this is what it is. I'm looking to see layoffs into selling into liquidations. Okay, after that, when I see liquidations, I'm looking to see something very particular, and this is the first piece to getting that bull run back. Why? Let me ask you a question. Why do people implement rules? Because something stupid happened. When I was a youth director, I had these overnight events with these kids in the church. And one morning, I walk into the bathroom and I see the urinal hanging off the side of the wall. Why is the urinal hanging off the side of the wall? Because I think a kid stood on the urinal to pee down in the urinal. So I implemented a rule that I thought I would never have to implement. No standing on the urinals. That is the rule that I implemented. Why do I tell you this story? Because regulation will be settling in. Why is there crypto's 11 years old, 12 years old, and this bull run's been happening, and people have had a lot of time. Why is there no regulation yet? Why is the gas hasn't pushed on this? Because there hasn't been enough pain. There hasn't been enough hurt. There hasn't been enough scams yet, big enough stories yet to increase the need for regulation. And I think that's what increases the need for regulation. It increases the need for rules. Because these policymakers and all this stuff, they're not trying to figure this out. They're just sitting. They're just lax, these policymakers. They don't care. Until there's civil unrest, until we have to move. It gets so painful, so dark, that they start to make these regulations happen. These rules come in place. And when regulations happen, that is, what I think is one of the big things that will initiate the bull market. Because when these regulations come in and they hit and these policymakers happen, that's when these big sovereign wealth funds, these big hedge funds, all these big funds will start pouring their money into a game that is secure. Because right now, when there's uncertainty in a market, which is, that's the uncertainty. We don't know where the parameters will land. Okay, we don't know, so we're not going to throw down money onto a market that we have no idea where the parameters land. When those parameters land, that's when we start to see big money roll in. That's the first thing that I see happen in a bull for the bull market to start off. I hope that makes sense. The second thing I think could happen. This is kind of an offshoot. This is far off. I hope it never happens. I hope it doesn't happen. But it's the Fed. And if the Fed starts printing money again, there's an old adage: if the Fed prints money, that's when you go in on the market. If the Fed stops it's printing money, that's what don't fight the Fed. All right, that's when you start to withdraw your funds from the market. That's when you say, okay, this is it. And so we will see at least a 50 point basis point BP hike in the next week. We will see another one in July. We will see another one in September, at least. Could it be more? Could it be 75? Yes. That's the likelihood. In the unlikely scenario that they do decide to print money starts flowing again, people start getting comfortable again, that's when I see a fake bull run happen. Because the reason why I say it's fake is because it's a can that's being kicked down the road for future people. It's debt. It's debt that we are going into now that it will be even worse in the future. Can they do that? I assume so. I don't bet against the United States often. I don't bet against the Fed often. I don't like that kind of. I'm American. I love America. And I think people will pull out all the stops to prevent some of the worst situations happening. And if they can't, they won't have it on their watch, so they'll push it down the road. And that's why I think that would happen. An option that this could happen in, probably an election year. Okay, it's an election year coming up. Midterms are coming up in November. Could it happen then? Sure. I'm not counting them out of it. No one knows. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, okay, we've done enough. No, so let's ease. Let's quantitative ease now. So that's the second situation that I see a fake minor bull run come back. The third one is this, and it's related to the elections again. It's the Biden administration changing. I'm not trying to talk political, not trying to talk politics here. I'm not trying to get into that. But economically, okay, we could talk. You could talk about your stances on different political issues or whatever. That's none of my business right now. I'm looking at the economics of it as far as I can see that the Biden administration has pushed these different situations, right? That this war in Ukraine, not handling it well, kind of flip-flopping on how they're going to deal with Russia, is going to take a strong stance, going to take a passive stance. I don't know. Letting these trade deals with Russia go, letting the supply chains go, dealing with COVID. I don't know if they're going to run another stimmy check. I have no idea. But I think this at least is true, that there's public sentiment in wanting a conservative president. Is that going to be Trump? I don't know. Do I care? I don't know. I just think that people don't want Biden or Kamala. There's a lot of talk, a lot of conspiracy talk about Biden getting out, Kamala coming in, Hillary coming in to speak. I have no idea. Okay, I'm not trying to get. This is not a conspiracy channel. This is not a political channel. I don't care about any of that stuff. What I do care is what will it take for a crypto bull run to happen again. And I think that I know the crypto community well enough that a conservative presidency will make that thing run again. Those are my 3 predictions. 1, regulation. 2, the Fed printing money. And 3, a change in administration to a conservative president. Those are the 3 things that I think will make our bull run again. Now, finally, I give you the signals, right? Finally, my moves. What am I going to be doing right now? Okay, so Bitcoin right now is at 21.5. Here's what I'm doing. I'm doing exactly what I said I would do back in the day, in 4 months ago. I think I'm going to see blood in the streets and bread lines around the corner. I think we've got a long way to go. I think that we at least have until November for this bear market, and we have a lot more pain. I am prepared to buckle in for 2 years till a presidency, till there's a switch, because I think this conservative is going to win next election. This is just my predictions. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not political. This is just what if I were to bet what would happen. This is what I would bet what would happen. So given that time frame, at least until November, I think we're gonna be in a bear at least until November, and then probably another 2 years. I'm prepared for 2-year bear. I'm prepared to wrestle a bear for 2 years. And so what am I gonna do with that? When I'm wrestling a bear for 2 years and I see Bitcoin at 21.6, this is what I'm doing right here. This is what I'm doing. I'm dollar cost averaging $250 right now because I'm swapping into more Bitcoin because I don't care. Because this is sound money. Because this is the future. Because enough of the fake printing of the money. Enough of the fiat. Enough of the manipulation. Enough of it. I'm done. Transaction received. I hope you received it too. Diamond Hands, baby. Laser Ray to 100K. Diamond Hand, Gorilla Arms, Lizard Brain. Look, I'm so hyped right now. Because to say that I'm fearful, I'm not fearful. I am fearful. Okay, I'm fearful because these markets, it's no longer a game when people's livelihoods are gone. It's no longer just fun investing. It's no longer just a whimsical. When people are fearful, be greedy. Like yes, that's true. But the sentiment is that when there's pain, maximum pain, and I'm not sure if we've seen that yet, but because there's still some sentiment out there, but. I gotta let you know, this morning when Bitcoin was crashing, boy, I was getting phone calls and texts from people like it was an emergency. Like one of my family members got sick and got got in a car accident. Like, Aaron, I just saw Bitcoin. Is Bitcoin okay? Are you okay? Like I was getting texts from 8 different people. Look, to say that I'm fearful. Or I'm not fearful would be a lie. I am. I'm fearful for what the economy could be, what it looks like. I'm fearful for what this. I mean, like I look at the news of Sri Lanka. I look at the news of these other countries. Man, it really scares me, especially my family in the Philippines. It really does scare me. But you and I have to find that inner reserve. Like we gotta. Do you believe that crypto is the future? Like blockchain technology is the future. Do you believe that Bitcoin is the soundest money in the world? It's hard. Cowboy, you got to take control of your emotion here. Here are my moves. I'm dollar cost averaging into Bitcoin. I don't know when the bottom is. I know that I think that there's more bottom to be found. Not financial advice, of course. I'm sorry, don't sue me. I think there's more bottom to be had. That's why I'm DCAing. I'm not going in with. You saw that I have about 5,000 there. I've probably got about 15,000 total. That I could deploy right now. And I want to take my time. I want to be patient. I want to always analyze, always assess the market, always look around and see what's happening, what's changing, because there's always something. Is there another protocol like Celsius gonna freeze something? Another exchange gonna freeze something, deterring people from crypto? Like losing trust in people. Do we have to move more towards DeFi? That's why I'm buying on PancakeSwap. So these are the things that I'm taking into account. And I'm looking for, most importantly, my next move is to make more money. For me, I want to be invaluable to my company, to the place where I'm working. I want to be like Aaron is the dude. And that's what you got to be. There's no time to relax here. This is not the time to relax. We should be looking for more money. We should be looking for side jobs, side gigs, second job. That's where I'm at. Let me know in the comment section below. I'll talk to you soon.